And it just suddenly clicked for me. I don't think blocky mats work very well. August has been busy with it being summer and trying to make the most of being outdoors, having friends visit, and lots of works in progress on the go. My knitting and crochet has been scattered, and I'm going to be sharing with you what I've been working on over the last month. Oh, and if you've missed previous episodes, I'm Emma of Wander and Create with Emma, and on my YouTube channel I share all things knitting and crochet. My monthly vlogs, I cover my success, my achievements, my progress, and sometimes failures, as well as yarn-based adventures, including yarn store tours and anything else that I feel I want to share with you. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel if you enjoy today's content. Please give it a like, it really helps my channel grow. And thank you for joining Wander and Create. Throughout August, I feel like I've been bouncing from one project to the next, and I've had a couple of learning opportunities too, including a crochet revelation, which I will of course be sharing with you throughout today's episode. So grab a hot drink, pick up your project, and follow me as I progress throughout August. And drop me a note in the comment below to let me know how your August was and what your highlights were. And normally I would start with any finished objects, but as I have none, I'm just going to launch into the first project I have to talk about, and that is the Open Edge Tee by Jessie Made Designs. Okay, so a project that I really thought was going to be a finished object for the time I recorded August vlog is not quite there yet. It might be finished in a week, it might be finished in a couple of days, I might put it down and get distracted by something else for a month. I don't know anymore. And that is the Open Edge Tee by Jessie Made Designs. And if you remember, if you watched my last month's vlog, my July vlog, this is a project I started in 2024, last summer, and it went a bit wrong and I just put it to the side and didn't pick it up again until this summer, where I was determined to make it work and have it finished by now, basically. And so rather than try and pick up where I'd left off a year ago and do some frogging and figure it all out, in my mind I decided the best thing to do was just to start all over again, which I did do. And if you watch July's vlog, you'll see that I had just started. It's a top that's worked bottom up. I just started doing the bottom. So this is how far I am now. So I have done the whole body again. All I have left to do is the sleeves, and they are short sleeves, so I don't anticipate them taking long. But just in terms of me recording this video, they're not ready yet. So I did have like one skein of yarn left that I hadn't even started yet when I first was knitting this last year, so I used that initially. And then I did have to unravel my last abandoned project to get the yarn again. And I think that's where I like put it down in August, because I was like, oh, I know I need to like wash that yarn to get to make it straight again. And I just was putting that off and putting that off for reasons I don't know. But then in the end, because I did leave it in a tightly wound ball for so long, it's now kind of just, oh, are you going to be able to see this? It's kind of straight enough. It's lost most of its kinks that I could use it again, and it looks fine. So I guess it worked out in that way. So yeah, I've done the back. I'm much happier with it now. I corrected where I went wrong last time. All I have to do is add the sleeves, and there's 1 week left in August. Maybe I can do it. Watch the space. If I've done it, I'll insert the footage now. If it skips to the next thing, you'll know I didn't finish it in the next week. So yeah, that's that project. But overall, I do like this project. I love Jessie Made Designs, as I said before. I find she has very clearly written instructions, very easy to follow. There's lots of advice for any modifications depending on your body shape. This is quite a loose boxy tee, so it can quite easily fit a range of bodies. Yeah, so I'm hoping I'm going to be happy with the end result. I will keep you posted either later on in just a sec or next month. I finished it. Full transparency, it is actually 3rd of September today, but I did it. I'm really happy with it. I love the fit of it. It's nice and loose. I still need to wash and block it out to kind of pin out the edges here. I have weaved in my ends already. I'll just trim when it's dry. But yeah, super happy with it. I'm really happy that I actually finished it. Something else that's very near finished this August for me is another version of the Hornby sweater vest. Now this is a crochet vest that I designed and released last year. I will show you my project. So I'm making another version in this brown yarn. This is crochet with the worsted weight yarn. I used Line Brand's Fisherman's Wool, which is 100% wool, and that's what I made my original sample into. I am making another version because I have been filming a tutorial for this vest top, which is going to be the next video that I release in 2 weeks' time, so look out for that. And again, subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss out on being the first to see that. The tutorial is going to walk you through step by step some of the techniques that you need in order to crochet this sweater vest. Its intended purpose is to use alongside the pattern. It is not in replacement of the pattern. For all the measurements and the row counts, etc., you will need the pattern. The tutorial, I'm just going to be showing you the different stitches and some other little techniques as a video support to the written pattern. The written pattern has been tech edited and tested by some amazing volunteers, so it's a very clearly written pattern with photos and clearly written instructions. The video is just a nice little extra to have, and it's kind of fun putting those tutorials together. So I am nearly finished. I finished filming the tutorial apart from the kind of final look. I've shown all the stitches. I'm now just working on the ribbing. I'm currently on the neckline. I need to work the armholes and the hem. This is going to be quite cropped compared to the original sample, but I'm looking forward to kind of wearing this over shirts or long dresses as we head into the fall season. It's a size inclusive pattern. It's available from an extra small to 5XL. And as I mentioned, it has been tech edited and tested, so I know that it's a good one. And you can find the pattern on my website, Ravelry and Etsy. Speaking of my patterns, I'm actually scheduling to have a sale across all of my patterns. I'll be launching that a week on Monday. I recommend subscribing to my newsletter because subscribers to my newsletter get the best discounts. I will still be releasing a discount for YouTube and social media. It just won't be as good as the newsletter list. So if you want a great discount on my patterns, I'm going to be running the sale for about a month, starting a week on Monday. You'll be getting the best discount through my newsletter, so head there. The Hornby vest will be one of those, so if you're interested, you might want to wait till I announce the sale, and that will happen just before the release of the tutorial, so it's kind of perfect timing if you're interested in making yourself a very versatile sweater vest for the upcoming fall winter seasons. This vest is perfect for it. I sound mad, but I had a bit of a crochet revelation this week in terms of my technique. If anyone has seen my tutorial videos or other clips of me crocheting, you might have noticed that my technique is what I feel slightly different from the conventional crocheting technique. I hold everything in my right hand, the hook, the yarn, and I think because I self-taught crochet, I'd already been knitting for a number of years, and I knit the like English style way where you're holding your yarn in your right hand and you throw it over. When I was trying to crochet and teach myself, I just couldn't get the hang of it holding the yarn and the tension around my left hand and the hook in my right. And I eventually just landed on myself feeling comfortable with everything in my right hand. I think it makes me a looser crochet, but ultimately the end result is the same. And it's been that way for the 10, however many years I've been crocheting. I have often tried to like learn the other way. I don't know why I'm doing quotation marks there. I think because I'm thinking like the normal way. When really there's no normal, it's just whatever works for you. But it just never clicked with me. However, this week I was watching I'll Knit If I Want To, the vlog of Andrea Mowry, and she was just, I think someone had written in and asked her how she holds her yarn for tension when she's knitting, and I was happening to just be crocheting at the time that I was watching this. And she started to demonstrate how she held her yarn for tension when she's knitting continental style. And I just thought, oh, I'm going to try, because I don't knit continental either. That's something I've never really got into. But as she was showing that, I thought, oh, I'll try and hold the yarn around my left finger and hand like she is. And it just suddenly clicked for me. I was like, oh, this is how you do it. Which is crazy that it just took that one, even though I'd watched so many crochet tutorials in my time, it's just this one demonstration that wasn't even related to crochet but knitting, and it just clicked for me and I got it. I'm not saying that I'm like all in on this technique just yet. I was trialing it out with the project I was working on, and my tension is significantly tighter than it is with my usual technique. So I think there's a happy medium to be found, but I will, going forward, like keep practicing the technique, because I ultimately, once I figured it out, I find it quite comfortable and easy. Not necessarily quicker or better, but I do want to just get into that technique because it's quite good to be varied. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you all because it's never too late to learn, and although there's no right way, something just suddenly clicked for me, even though it's like 10 years down the line. So it's never too late to learn something new. If you've learned something new recently, please share it in the comments so we can all celebrate with you as well. I have a question for you all, and it's something that I posted on TikTok a few weeks ago. If you don't follow me there, go find me. And it's a question about blocking mats. So I've come to the kind of conclusion within myself that I don't think blocking mats work very well. I've been using them the whole time I've been knitting and crocheting to wash and block my projects, but I just think they don't dry them very well, obviously, because there's no airflow. So you're laying something flat on here, it will stay damp underneath. Even when you go to turn your project, this is kind of all wet, so you're just putting something that may be dry on the top, making it wet again when you turn it over. So anyway, I asked on TikTok if other people felt the same and what they do instead, and I'm curious to hear what you do as well. Some people said that they use towels and they just lay their projects flat on there, or it's a towel on like a clothes dryer, so there's a bit of airflow going, and they felt that worked better. I have seen Andrew Mowry getting a second mention. She has, where does she get it from? I can't remember, like a kind of Pringle shaped thing that she can dry. She places her projects on and there's enough airflow there that they dry a little bit quicker. So I might look at getting one of those because I'm getting a bit fed up of things taking a bit longer than I feel they should to dry. But share with me what you do when you wash and block your knits. Obviously it's kind of important, I guess, if you're doing like lace work or you need something to stretch to a certain length, you're going to need the blocking mats to pin stuff out, so it kind of makes the most sense then, I guess. But otherwise, if you are just washing something, what do you use when you're wanting to flat dry it? Please let me know. So I think at least 2 vlogs ago now, I mentioned that I wanted to knit the Sundial Tee by Wool and Pine Design. This is a stash busting pattern that I found doing one of my pattern roundup videos, and they had a sale on and I bought the pattern. At least 1 month vlog ago, I said that I still hadn't started it yet. But 2 days ago, I started to do this pattern. I got out my bag of fingering weight yarn and I was having a look at the pattern and trying to determine what yarn I wanted to use, what colour combinations I wanted to use, and also if I had enough yarn, because initially when I talked about the pattern in that roundup video, I think I misread the description. I thought you only needed like 6 to 13 grams of yarn per colour for the whole pattern. And I got really excited about that because I was like, wow, that's hardly any yarn. And I have this bag, apart from like one full skein, you can see it's mostly just small, really small balls of yarn. So when I was reading the pattern again yesterday, I discovered that it's like per 36 rows, that's approximately how much yarn you'd need, but obviously there's way more than 36 rows in the top construction. So if I did say that in the pattern roundup video, I just wasn't thinking through what that actually meant in reality. So thank goodness for the good people of Ravelry who update their projects on there, and a lot of people did really have clear descriptions of how much yarn they used per colour, how many colours they used, how much of each colour they used in grams. So helpful. I fully appreciate it, and I know I'm not a good enough person when it comes to updating and keeping all the finer details of my project in Ravelry. This really encourages me to do that because I found it so helpful in myself trying to plan for this top. However, all of that is to say, I actually think I'm not going to knit it this time for this purpose. So I was looking at my colour combinations, like what ones I thought would work well together, trying to come up with something, weighing all the balls, seeing how much I actually had, and I really determined that there was only a few yarns in this bag that I had enough of, and the rest were smaller, and I thought maybe that would be okay. I can just have like smaller, like there'll be more frequent changes and maybe I'll just make a more cropped version and the pattern is written. Maybe that's what I'll do. So I pushed a little bit further and I did my gauge swatch, and this is where I've decided to end it. This is my gauge swatch. So I've done like 2 rounds of the chart, the mosaic chart that it's written in. Once I got into it, the chart itself, pretty straightforward. You're kind of slipping stitches and you're changing colours, but I do not like this colour combination that I've chosen here. Admittedly, I could not have that dark blue and this kind of black and white yarn together. I could separate them, but it really just showed me that perhaps with the yarn that I've got, this is not the project for me. I do still want to knit this, but I think I might have to wait until I have more yarn, more finger and weight yarn, more of certain colours, and have a colour combination that I really like. So what I've landed on is, I think what I need to do, because I still want to try and just use up all this yarn and not use it just through socks, and I still want to try a wool and pine design, because I keep talking about how great their patterns are for stash busting, because a lot of the patterns are designed with stash busting in mind. So I thought perhaps with all the different colours of yarn I have, perhaps a truly scrappy stash busty pattern is what I need. I think like Larkenbagger, like her kind of just go with the flow, put all the yarns together, that kind of style I think is what I need, but I still want to try the wool and pine. So I've gone back to their pattern list, was looking through, and I've landed on the knitted sea glass tee. I did just feature the crochet sea glass tee in my last full pattern roundup video if you haven't watced that already, but I want to do the knitted one just because crochet does eat a bit more yarn, and again, as I've mentioned, I don't know if I actually have so much fingering weight yarn as I think. So to make this top, I'm going to do it knitted, and I'm going to see how I get on with it. I think it's going to be much easier to combine colours. You don't have this kind of mosaic with the 2 layers of colours going throughout. You're kind of changing 2 colours all the time. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I haven't started it yet, but I'll continue going through my updates as I'm doing it, and hopefully we'll see some results during the process of this month's vlog. It's me editing here. I just wanted to come in and say that I did not start the sea glass tee at all. I haven't even done the swatch. A bit disappointing. I'm looking forward to doing it, but I just ran out of time, and as I was putting this video together, I realised that I never came back to say that. So popping in to say no sea glass tee this month, maybe October. I have come down to the beach to do some of my knitting. It's the end of August now. I know that there's not going to be too many days that are like this going forward, so just trying to make the most of it. I am hoping you can hear me, because obviously I am outside for one. There are seaplanes going overhead, there's the ocean, there's people walking by. Hopefully this works out, but I have come down here to just sit for a bit and enjoy the view and work on one of my new designs that I mentioned. So this first new design that I'm going to share with you is going to be a wrap top. I have a wrap top that I bought years ago. It's made of linen fabric. I bought it from a local brand here in Vancouver, and I really like it because of its multi-function purpose. You can have it kind of wrapped at the front like a traditional wrap top, but you can also reverse it and have kind of the back on your front and then tied up behind. So I wanted to see if I could recreate that as a knit version, and then maybe if that goes well, I might think about a crochet version too. So at the moment I'm just working on the first panel that will be the front, so it'll kind of gradually graduate into that kind of wrap construction. I'm using the Knitting for Olive merino cotton blend yarn. I've brought the yarn with me but not the band, but I'm pretty sure it's the merino wool cotton blend. I have never knit with Knitting for Olive wool before. They're an extremely popular yarn brand, I think probably for a good reason. They have done lots of good things recently, especially with like the raising money for Palestine and stuff. That has been great, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's a lovely soft wool. I think it will be good for the summer. Like this design is going to be intended as a wrap for like slightly warmer climates, either like a cooler evening for wearing in the day when it's not completely cold yet, but you just want something to cover up or wear with nothing underneath. I don't have too much more to say on this top for now. Obviously, once I've made this sample, I will grade it to other sizes, have it tech edited and tested. So if from this like brief description you think this is something you would be interested in, hop onto my newsletter. I've put the link to subscribe below because my newsletter subscribers will be the first people to be able to opt in and show their interest. But for now, I'm just going to keep on knitting and enjoy the view. So my other new design that I'm working on is going to be a baby blanket. So I am making this for a friend of mine that is currently pregnant. I'm assuming they don't watch this. I'm pretty sure they don't. So I'm okay to share. But I've had this idea for a while now. There's a few different things that I have really enjoyed with my like knitting crochet journey, and I'm trying to kind of bring them all together in this design, I think. So one thing that I kind of like the idea of is patterns that are knitting and crochet combined. And actually my first pattern that I ever published was a knitting and crochet pattern combined, the Lonsdale hat. It has a crochet brim and then the rest of the hat is knitted. And ever since then I've been trying to think of other ideas, and it's kind of fun / tricky to experiment with because you are kind of trying to match gauges, match stitch counts, match size, etc. But I like it. So I've always wanted to kind of make more patterns like that and hope that other people are interested in them as well. The other piece is that, as you know, I knit the Laura Penrose Stella Quilt blanket kind of late last year for one of my nephews. I made a baby blanket version, and then because I enjoyed that process so much, I ended up doing a cushion cover version as well, which is here, and I absolutely love this. And there are a couple of things I really enjoyed about that pattern. One, I really liked the process of just making the individual squares and that ability to be using up some leftover yarn if you wanted, because you can just, you know, each square can be like half one colour, half another. So I liked that. And I also really liked the fact that you could join the squares as you go, because in the past when I have made like a granny square blanket, for example, seaming together all those squares at the end is just not for me. I get so bored by it. I know you're kind of meant to be feeling that satisfaction of nearly finishing a project, but I find it tedious, I've got to say. So I really liked that you didn't have to do that for this project. So with those two things in mind, I had this idea to do a crochet and knitted blanket combined, and I will show you what I have got. So this is very early, like experimental, but let me get a bit closer. So you can see I have the granny square here, and then I have the knitted mitered square where you're kind of decreasing in the center to create the square pattern, and then I have another granny square, and I'm attaching as I go, and I've been experimenting with that. I think I've got it down to the hook size I need compared to the needle size I need in terms of getting the same size of squares for each, and the method that I'm going to need to kind of attach knitted squares to crochet squares as I go and crochet squares to knitted squares. You know what I mean, vice versa of the two, to make it all work out. This is the only prototype I have right now. I'm going to play with it a little bit more and see. But what do you think? Is that something that you're interested in doing? Would you be interested in the pattern if I were to successfully make this blanket enough that I want it to be a pattern? Would you be interested? That reminds me, the other thing that appeals to me in general, as you know, I'm on my stash busting journey this year. So I'm trying to think of my own things that I could design that are stash busting, and I think this, if it works out, would be excellent for stash busting with any leftover yarn from like scrappy to like one-off skeins you have. Because obviously with the granny square, you could change your colour each round of the granny square, but even with the knitted square, you can still change the colour as you're going. You could change the colour here, and then this final corner could be a different colour. You could have stripes. It'd be very easy to make this as scrappy or as non-scrappy as you want. So that's another thing that appeals to me about this design. So yeah, let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you like the sound of that. I'm going to keep working away at it, see how I feel. I'm excited by it, and I also like the idea that you're changing all the time. You're not just crocheting, you're knitting, crocheting. It keeps it kind of engaging and fun, but it should also be quite straightforward because granny squares are kind of easy to do, and the knitted square is also very easy to do. So I'm hoping it's a mindful project that has many benefits. And I will obviously keep you posted on how I am going. Thank you all for watching this month's vlog episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to add in the comments what you have been working on over August. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already so you don't miss future episodes from me, like the Hornby sweater vest tutorial that is coming up next. And subscribe to my newsletter so you get the exclusive discount on my pattern sale that I will be launching next week. Thank you again, take care, I'll see you next time.